A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you so very much for joining the Life as Signatures podcast. It's another day to do this, another day to have some inspiration, some motivation to come your way. We normally talk about purpose, productivity, and resilience in these episodes. And we are continuing a series that we started yesterday to talk about the things that we need to handle in terms of the new year, especially those people who are despaired for the new year for one reason or another. I want to look at the 5 things that bring despair in the new year, and want to, even as we look at them, we want to see how exactly we can be able to conquer them even as we go on. I know that it cuts both ways. Some people might be excited about the new year, but some not so much excited for one reason or another. We said yesterday, the reason why 2nd of January is a reality check is because the new year doesn't bring you promise just, out of the blue. It is because you've been living, you've been existing, and the processes that you've involved yourself in are the ones that bring you what you're feeling on January the 2nd. So today, let us look at some of those things. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Happy New Year 2024. That's how people are greeting one another. I don't know how long that is going to take. Happy New Year. I don't know how many months that takes for us to greet one another. How many weeks, how many days? As in, when does the greeting expire? When does it lose meaning? I don't know. Is it the 2nd week of January? I've never known that. Sometimes I find someone that I've never met in the year, in June, and I am like, Happy New Year, Anyway, we're talking about the 5 things that will be a source of despair in the new year. Despite people celebrating the new year, people having a hope, people having a promise, people having motivation, but there are some things that just slump them, just causes despair, probably depression, lack of motivation, saps strength from out of their lives, and just causes them to, be like, what's the excitement all about? And I want to talk about those things in this series. Today, I want to talk about the first one. We're going just to handle one today, and then we will see how it goes. Remember, we said yesterday that the new year, we treat it like an event. Yeah, we treat it like an event. But this is one of the most interesting things because it's a celebration of time. It's a celebration of transition in time, okay? It's not a celebration of something we've produced. It's not like you've graduated, right? Because graduation means you've been studying, going through a process, and now you have a graduation gown and you're going to receive a certificate. The new year doesn't give us a certificate, right? It gives us, guess what? A promise. It gives us hope. It gives us an opportunity, as a new psychological new opportunity to do stuff. Probably gives us an opportunity to restart. It gives us an opportunity to get a new direction in life. I mean, nothing is as powerful as the New Year, because it's the only day in the whole wide world where there is hope, aspiration, inspiration, motivation, promise. There is an opportunity for people to restart. Those ones who are always smoking and they wanted to quit smoking, many of them across the whole world would want to stop that. Those ones who've been battering their wives across the world, they want to stop that. It's an amazing opportunity this new year. And that's why people normally say, I'm going to make a New Year resolution. But on the flip side of this, we're talking about not about the 1st of January. We're talking about the 2nd. The reason why the 2nd of January is here and people now come to a reality is because you've been living all along. The New Year's celebration is not an event. It's a process. You've been living all along. And that's why after the New Year celebrations are gone, you come back to how you've been living all along. And one of the things that causes despair, because we're talking about despair in this series, one of the things that causes despair is disappointment. We get disappointed in this world. In fact, Jesus Christ said these words. He said, in this world, you will have very many troubles. It's a promise for trouble. Why is it that in this world you'll have very many troubles? It is because we are living in a broken world. Yeah, I said it. This world is not pure. This world is not holy. This world is broken. We, even as human beings, are not pure, are not holy, are not perfect. We are broken. We just a redeemed generation, if you'd allow. But I can tell you this, my friends. The reason as to why we are going to have disappointments is as simple as that. This world is broken. We are broken. And the first thing that people bring despair to people in the new year is disappointments. Disappointments, by the way, of the previous times that you've been alive. Disappointment in the previous months, probably in the previous days, in the previous weeks. One of the greatest forces of progression in life is hope. But in fact, I would challenge you to have tremendous hope at the beginning of the new decade, at the beginning of the new year. Have hope that your life purpose will shine greater like never before. Have hope in this new year. Have hope that you'll be the best version of yourself in this new year. It's okay. However, at times, we have hope in something specific, and at times we order our lives around that hope, that expectation. And this means, for the most part, we have not considered the other outcome of all the hope that we have, especially when the hope doesn't materialize. What does it bring about? It brings about disappointment. There are some people who are disappointed that they are not married. There are some people who are disappointed that they don't have children. There are some people who are disappointed that they don't have a job. Some are disappointed that they did not get the contract. There are people who are disappointed that their marriage has not improved. Some are disappointed that their child has not come back home. Some are disappointed that they did not pass the bar. Others are disappointed that they did not do this, they did not do that. I mean, all over the place. Hope can become a source of disappointment in life. But I'm not going to ask you to stop hoping. It means that for the most part, whatever it is that we've put our hope in, it is easy for it to turn around and cause us to be disappointed. When that happens, when the disappointment comes, we get disillusioned. In the new year, there are some people who are disillusioned. They actively tried to do something, but they failed. And probably they had put proverbially their eggs in one basket, as in they woke up every working day hoping, expecting that their push in life is going to bring some kind of pull. And that never happened. And now you feel disillusioned, disappointed. It's kind of like the spirit that you've had is taken away from you. The hope you had. And now you don't even have hope in hope. In other words, you don't want to expect and to be disappointed again. We cannot fathom the fact that the object of our expectation is long gone and never to be recovered. It's a bad moment. The new year, even if you are disappointed and you are in despair, nothing robs of your motivation and inspiration as a disappointment does. But the new year can be a pinnacle moment for you to draw a line in the sand and say, let's go again. Let's give it another try. Let's get into, if you're a spiritual person, let's get into prayer and pray that this child will come back home. Let me take that bar examination once again. Let me create some products and go and knock on doors once again. Let me hope once again. I know I've been disappointed. Probably what we need to do with disappointment is not to approach it like an undertaker. We shouldn't approach it like, we had everything covered and no blind sides, but we still lost. No, I think you need to look at disappointment from the angle of, I gave it a shot. I might have missed something. Even if I did not miss something, probably the timing wasn't correct, or probably there was someone better for it than me. It doesn't mean that should be fatal. Failure should not be fatal. This disappointment is part and parcel of life, but we should not allow it to be a fatality. Because if we do allow disappointment to be a fatality, we will be paralyzed for life. So what we can do right now is to onboard, because we're talking about regression at some point in time in these episodes. We need to onboard these feelings of disappointment. In this new year, onboard those feelings. And just nod and agree that you might yet be disappointed. But the worst that you will not do is to do nothing. So you have an opportunity to draw a line in the sand and say, guess what? In this new year, I'm going to go again. I'm going to try again. I'm going to give it another shot. I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to be motivated again. It is one of the biggest contributors of our personal paralysis to be demotivated because of a disappointment. It's one of the main reasons why some people are not excited about the new year or the new decade in their lives. But it doesn't have to be an undertaker of our dreams. It doesn't have to be an undertaker of our visions and our aspirations and our desires. The new year is a psychological new. So let us approach it from the angle of things can yet be better. Again. So I'm not going to be one of those who shrink back in life, but I'm going to be one of those who, despite the disappointment, despite the despair, despite the disillusionment, I'm going to draw a line in the sand and I'm going to get on this bandwagon of a new year because it's psychological new for me. I'm going to hope. I'm going to onboard the promise that this new year brings. And I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to despair. I'm not going to do nothing and at the end of the day reinforce the disappointment and the despair. But I'm going to hope. I am going to engage myself in an activity. I'm going to choose a direction and I'm going to take that direction. And I'm going to give my all, my 100% into it. And I'm going to leave. That's my admonition for you in this new year. Tomorrow we'll look at something else. Stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.